Merry Meetle. We're in the apothecary/office, and no, it's not finished yet. It's just a bit of an update, and also a bit of bad news. We lost Leuka. She, hang on. She took her last few breaths last night around it was midnight. So after her last exhale, I looked at the clock, it was midnight, Friday, down here in the Southern Hemisphere. Sorry, I've already cried, but I can't help it. Anyway, so she's been battling with issues with her reproductive system, and you know, she's had a good fight. And a few years back, she was picked up and dropped by a goshawk, and ever since then, you know, it's been extremely difficult for her to lay, and then when she did lay, they would be shellless, and it didn't matter what supplements we gave her, and it, you know, my next step was to get her a contraceptive. However, I mean, she's very tiny for a peking, and you know, I suspect she's also got just genetically other issues, and it didn't help that the breeder fed her chook feed, you know, when they should have given her the proper diet. And also the owner who got her after the breeder also gave her chook feed, but she didn't know any better. I mean, that's the thing, people who haven't reared ducks before, they don't know. They're just going by what the person who sold them the ducks are doing or tell them. They don't know any better. So she's always been on the small side, and she's always had hormonal issues. You know, I even thought she was going to turn into a boy at one point, which she didn't. But yeah, we are very gutted. So she was on a course of antibiotics. She finished the course. She was starting to do really well, putting on weight again, and then bang, a week later, she just started nosediving again and going into convulsions when she was trying to do the mechanisms of laying. And she's not egg bound, it's right in the oviduct, it's right deep in there with the issue that's gone on. And you know, I put her on a different course of antibiotics. I did natural modalities as well, and yeah, she's hang on. She slept with me last night, right to the end, and the night before, I stayed up all night as well. So I'm working on pretty much 2 days of jet lag, if you like, or sleep deprivation. I just the most comfortable space for her was in my arms. But anyway, so this is her little coffin, and I have got one of my favourite plaid shirts in there. Yeah. And one of her favourite things was lucerne hay. We've also got some feathers from her friend, one of her best friends, Bella, the appleyard. I've got a couple of fragmantia flowers. There's magical purpose in those. I've also got some cornflowers for ancestral things. I've got some everlasting flowers in there as well. And I've got a little wand out of a golden birch. So I bury her today. My plan is to, after I do this recording, I need to do some mucking out of one of the runs. I've got my second tribe of ducks out there, running around, and that includes Suna, which brings me to my animals. My other birds know she's not around. She has this gorgeous whack whack that sounds like a raven. She'd talk to Loki, my raven, back and forwards whack whack. And yeah, even the ravens are feeling it this morning. They're whacking to her and she's not whacking back. So she's not there. So I just got to do a little bit of mucking out of one of the runs before they go into those runs for the rest of the day. Well, you know, half a day at least. And when I do that, I'm going to create a hole, and I am actually going to place this little clear coffin in it, and I'm going to show Suna, who is already showing signs of where is Leuka, because she's the other peaking female and she's the disabled one. She's already missing her. So the thing is, last night I knew that it could be the last night, and I made sure after everyone had a bath that I brought each one into this room, because Leuka was in a nest that I created for her to sit at my desk with me during the day, and they all took turns in saying goodbye, and you know, Leuka also talking to them. Because the other thing too is, sorry, trying to not cry. The other thing too is, like, when you've got other birds, you don't want them to think that you've just gotten rid of one of the birds. Do you know what I mean? They're very smart, they are very social, they bond, and you know what I mean? But they all got to say goodbye, but I think it's important that they can see her in the ground like this. Because it's covered as well, she won't get dirtied or mucked. And basically after this batch of duckies, or tribe I should say, I've got basically 2 tribes at the moment. When they go into the run, I'll release the other tribe from the run, which is Frigg, the 2 brothers, the 2 Cayugas and the Rowan girls. And Frigg especially, he's going to need to see her, because he's already looking around for her. You know, every time I'm at the door, he looks up and you can see he's like scanning and waiting to hear for Leuka or see her, and he's not. So I want them to see her before that she's like this. Especially Frigg. So Suna and Frigg the most. Even Bella, whose feathers are in there. She dropped heaps of feathers when she was going into the mulch. And sorry my voice is sounding off because I am trying to not cry and failing miserably. Oh baby. Oh man. Hurts right in the gut. So anyway, that's the plan of attack today. Once the second tribe of duckies, including the 2 boys, says goodbye, finally, then I will cover the box. That said, with this box, it's too shallow for me. I do have a 50 centimeter high black storage box, and I'm actually going to put this box inside that box, and I'm going to bury that box. So when I move, she comes with me in that black box. I do want to, I am now looking around at statues. I want to have a peking statue to put on top of her little coffin, or where she's buried. So, you know, I know the other ducks are going to go to that spot. And she's kind of still with us. I know that sounds weird, but she is. Lastly, in this recording, I just want to bring up something of, you know, in society we're so separated from death. People don't even, half the time, don't even think about, like, I'm vegan, but when they buy food that is what they call food is when it's from animals, they don't even see that it's an animal, they just see the end product. They just, put it this way, if people had to do their own butchering, they would, a lot of people would all of a sudden become vegetarian at least, if not vegan. Society-wise, we're so disconnected. But then there's the other side of it, is taking your animals in to be euthanized. You know, it's very expensive. Like, I basically was thinking, okay, if Leuka didn't turn around by today, I was giving her 2 days in her really bad bout, that I was going to have to take her in. And the option was, do I pay for a contraceptive injection, which is, you know, including the vet visit, $300, or do I pay that to euthanize her? I can't do both, because basically if I gave her the contraceptive, then I would not be able to pay for euthanasia for about literally 6 or 8 weeks until I financially recoup from that. And so I would have had to have made that choice. But in another sense, there is something about holding someone you love right to the end. When they take that last breath and you're there. I don't know how, but I don't know if you can feel it in the air. Animals have souls. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't think that, but they do. And as hurtful as the experience is, I wouldn't change that. Not the hurt, but to experience that transition. Nothing really dies. You know, we all die. It's just a matter of the life you live to the end and when you're going. Those that love you around you, or those that you love. I guess that's what it's all about. You know, probably thinking I'm crazy, but that's okay. But I would have also preferred that her final breaths were in my arms and not on a table with 2 strangers giving her an injection. The sterility of that death, in a way, it almost mimics also the sterility of how children are even born these days in a hospital. We have lost a lot in society, I think, globally. I guess something to leave you all in this depressing vlog. I'm sorry. My baby girl is How can we claim back what we've been conditioned to think is normal, or what we've been conditioned to think is better? Because is it really? I know she could see me with her, with her little body. And when she took those last breaths, my whole house went extremely quiet. The duckies in the room next to me, they were no longer whispering or shuffling around. They just went dead quiet. The whole house went quiet until the next morning, early morning. Anyway, blessed be Mary's heart. Thank you for sharing my grief. Leuka will be very much missed. She's loved. She was loved. She will always be loved. No one can really replace this little one. Blessed be Mary's heart. And yeah, I will do another recording of this apothecary update. Also the second room where I've got the ducks. I've got to move aquariums today as well. Got a lot to do, and we're already at lunchtime. Yeah, I've lost a lot of routine over the past few days with this little one. Blessed be in Mary's heart.